The auction hall on Zarthon Prime was filled with strange lights, loud voices, and the cold, sharp smell of money and metal. It was a place where the alien elites came to buy rare things, exotic pets, rare machines, and sometimes even living beings they didn't care. Everything was just something to be owned, something to show off today. The spotlight moved to a strange figure brought out by two guards. She was a broken cyborg girl. Her arms were mismatched. Her legs moved with a slow, stiff motion. One eye was cracked. Wires stuck out from her back like tangled hair. Her face was dull, her expression empty. Her voice module let out a soft, static hum. She didn't speak. She didn't even look up. Unit 7. The auctioneer shouted with a smile full of sharp teeth. Once part of the legendary human war machines, now a piece of history. Slightly damaged, but with original core still intact, the crowd laughed. Some aliens covered their noses as if the sight of her was an insult. Others whispered, calling her garbage. One thin alien asked, "Does it even move?" Another chuckled. "Just scrap metal with skin." No one raised a hand, not one. Until the human did. In the back of the hall stood a quiet man. He had no grand clothing, no glowing jewelry, no special marks on his body. He looked plain, too plain for this place. But when he raised his hand, the hall fell silent. Even the auctioneer blinked in confusion. "You human?" you bid? The man nodded once. "Yes," he said calmly. "I'll take her." The crowd laughed again, but this time there was unease in their voices. No one could understand. Why would a human want a broken machine? "She's worthless," one shouted. "Are you joking?" "Maybe he's collecting trash," said another. But the human said nothing more. Paid the price, loaded the cyborg girl onto a small hover cart, left the hall without a single glance back. His name was Leo. He walked through the spaceport quietly, pushing the cart. People stared, whispered, some pointed. He ignored them, kept moving until he reached his ship. It was small, but clean, built with human care. He brought her inside, placed her gently on a workbench, and sat down. For a long moment he didn't speak. Then he said softly, "Can you hear me?" The cyborg girl didn't move. He reached for a set of tools, opened a panel on her side, and connected a small power cell. Sparks flew, and her body twitched. Her eyes flickered. A soft sound escaped her lips, a broken word. "Psi, stim, damaged." Leo nodded. "I know," he said. "Don't." "But you're not junk." He worked for hours. Carefully, gently. He cleaned her wounds, fixed some wires, replaced old parts with salvaged ones. It's nothing fancy, nothing expensive. But it was enough. When her eyes opened again, they stayed open. She looked at him. "What is this place?" she asked in a low voice. "My ship," Leo said. "You're safe." She blinked slowly. "Why did you buy me?" He looked into her tired eyes and answered simply, "Because you didn't deserve to be thrown away." She didn't know what to say. Her system tried to find a purpose, a command, something to follow. But there was none. She wasn't being ordered. She wasn't being controlled. She was being treated kindly. Leo stood up and looked around the ship. "I'll call you Nara," he said. "You need a name." "Nara," she repeated, like a question. He smiled. "Yeah, it sounds nice." She stared at him, confused. No one had ever given her a name before. She had always been just a number, just a tool. Now she had a name. Her voice stuttered. "Do I belong to you now?" He shook his head. "No, you belong to yourself. I just helped you out." The idea was strange to her, too strange. She couldn't understand it, but it felt good, like something soft after years of cold. He showed her around the ship, helped her sit, even gave her a simple blanket. She didn't need it, but the warmth felt nice. As she powered down for the night, her eyes looked at Leo one last time. "Thank you," she whispered. Leo sat nearby, watching the stars outside the window. "You're welcome," he said quietly, outside. The ship, the stars moved slowly across space. Inside, for the first time in years, The broken cyborg girl felt something new. Hope. Nara woke slowly. Her systems hummed, low and steady. The lights above her blinked soft and warm, not sharp like in the labs. She lay on a padded bench inside the small human ship. There were no chains, no cuffs, no data cables forced into her. Skull, just quiet. She sat up. Leo was nearby, fixing a loose panel on the wall. He looked up, smiled gently.
Morning, Nara.
Morning, she repeated, unsure if that word still fit someone like her. I function properly now. That's good, Leo said. He handed her a small metal plate with warm food on it. You don't need to eat. But if your systems allow it, it might help with organic balance. She looked at the food, something human, simple, but it smelled, familiar. She tried a bite. Her mouth module buzzed, then adjusted. The taste was warm, salty, comforting. Thank you, she said softly. Leo sat across from her. You don't have to thank me. Not every time. She blinked. It is, polite. Yeah, he said with a grin. But you're not a machine anymore. Or just one. You're free. Those words hit her like a silent wave. Free. That word had never applied to her. Not when she was a soldier. Not when she was a test subject. And not when she was dragged to the auction, half broken and humiliated. What do you want to do? Leo asked suddenly. She looked up. Want. Ah. Yeah. Not what you're told. Not what you're programmed for. What do you want to do, Nara? Looked down at her hands. The metal still shook slightly. Her fingers had once held weapons, had once taken lives. She wasn't sure what she wanted. She didn't even know what was allowed. I don't know, she said at last. Leo nodded. That's okay. You'll figure it out. They spent the next few days flying through space. Leo didn't rush her. He gave her time, space, and tools to repair herself more. She learned quickly. Her systems improved. Her speech became smoother. Her movements less stiff. She even began asking questions. Why do aliens hate cyborgs? Because they fear. What they don't control? Leo answered. Why were humans at war? Because we refused to bow to them. Nara listened. She remembered. Pieces of her past returned, like broken glass coming back together. She had been in a unit called Vega Dawn, a team of human cyborg fighters during the last galactic war. They were fast, powerful, loyal, but one mission went wrong. They were surrounded. She was captured. The rest lost. She told Leo one night, her voice quiet. They used me, cut me apart, rewired me, made me watch others suffer. Leo didn't interrupt. He didn't try to fix her with words. He just sat next to her. I hated them, she whispered. But more than that, I hated myself. For surviving? Leo looked at her. He survived. That's not weakness. That's strength. Nara closed her eyes. A single drop of fluid rolled down her cheek, a rare tear. Her emotion chip, once locked, had started working again. But peace never lasted long in the galaxy. On the third night, the ship's sensors beeped. Leo ran to the control panel. Someone's tracking us. Nara stood beside him. Friend. All bounty hunters, she paused. For me, he nodded. You're still valuable to the wrong people. They must have tracked the auction logs. She clenched her fists. I will fight. Leo looked at her. You don't have to. I want to, she said. It was the first time she'd spoken with purpose. They prepared quickly. Leo gave her a small weapon. She adjusted her arm joint, activated a hidden blade. Her old combat files flickered online, sharp and ready. The ship shook. The enemy vessel was already docking. Leo stayed by the door, blaster ready. Nara stepped forward. I will face them. You sure? Yes. When the door burst open, two tall hunters entered, both reptilian armored with glowing rifles. They saw Nara and smiled. Target confirmed. They didn't smile long. Nara moved like a shadow. One flipped backward from her kick. The other fired, but she dodged and slammed into him, breaking his rifle. Her blade flicked once, then stopped an inch from his neck. You want to take me again? She asked coldly. The hunter trembled. I I'm just doing my job. She dropped him, then quit. Leo dragged the other one to the ship's edge. They threw both hunters into a drop pod and launched it. Into space, the threat was gone, but the message was clear. They were being watched. Leo turned to her. They'll come again, Nara nodded. Let them. Your walk back inside the ship. Her steps were steady now, strong, her voice no longer glitching. Leo, she said, stopping. Yeah, gave me a name, a place, a chance. And I give you a promise. I won't run anymore. I will fight. Not because they command me, but because I choose to. Leo smiled. In that moment, she was no longer broken. She was becoming whole again. Nara stood in the quiet hallway of the ship, staring at her reflection in a smooth metal panel. The cracks on her face had faded. Her right arm now moved without delay. Leo had even helped her polish the dull pieces of her chest plate. She still looked half machine, but something inside her had changed. She no longer saw a tool. She saw a person. Leo walked in, carrying 2 cups of warm tea. Thought you might like this? She took the cup carefully. I'm still learning how to enjoy things. You'll get there, he said with a soft smile. They sat together near the front window. Space stretched out before them, quiet. Stars, distant planets, trails of stardust. It felt endless. Peaceful, Nara spoke after a long pause. I remember a mission. Before I was taken, I was saving a child. Leo turned to her. My team had orders to destroy a base. But when we entered, we found civilians. Scared. Hiding. My commander said to continue, but I stopped. I shielded a young alien child from crossfire. She looked down. I disobeyed. Leo nodded slowly. You made a choice. A good one. They punished me, she said. And then the enemy captured me. Maybe that's why I was taken because I hesitated. No, Leo said gently. You protected someone. That's not hesitation. That's humanity. Nara looked at him. But I'm not fully human. Doesn't matter, he said. Your choices make you who you are. They sat in silence again. But this time it was a warm silence. A beeping sound broke the moment. Leo checked the screen. Coming message. Encrypted, from someone named Dev. Nara stood quickly. It's that name, I remember it. Dev was in my unit. He survived. Leo opened the message. A shaky voice came through. To anyone receiving this, this is Devo 4. I'm hiding on the outer. Rim Sector 9, they're hunting me. Others like us. Broken units. They're being collected again, please. If you're out there, help. Nara's voice was calm but firm. We have to go. Leo nodded. Then we go. They set course for Sector 9, traveling through old routes and quiet lanes to avoid detection. The journey took 2 days. During that time, Nara trained, not just physically, but mentally. She practiced voice tones, studied different cultures, and even learned how to repair small ship parts. She wanted control not over others, but over herself. On the second night, Leo entered the engine room and found her repairing a pipe. She looked up. I like doing this. Fixing things? Yes. It feels like building something back. Leo smiled. You're good at it? When they reached the edge of Sector 9, they found a small moon with damaged signals. Leo flew low, scanning the surface. The place was quiet, cold. Old battle ruins still littered the ground. Broken droids, rusted metal. Empty bunkers. There, Nara pointed. Life sign. Weak. They landed. Nara stepped out first, her sensors active. She moved fast, light on her feet. Leo followed, weapon ready, but trusting her lead. Inside a half-buried bunker, they found Dev. He was worse than she remembered. His chest plate cracked, his voice module flickering, one leg barely holding up. But when he saw Nara, his eyes lit up. You made it. She rushed to him. Yes, and now I'm here for you. Leo helped carry him back to the ship. Once inside, Nara got to work, cleaning his wounds, stabilizing his systems. He was careful. Khan's voice came back slowly. They're hunting us. Someone's buying cyborgs again. Not for parts. For control. Who? Leo asked. Hi, elite houses. They want to restart the old war machines. But not for Warthus. Time for sport. Nara froze. Sport? She repeated. Yes, Dev said. They make cyborgs fight in arenas, destroy each other for fun. They erase our names, our memories, make us into monsters. Nara stood, fists clenched. Not again. Never again. Leo looked at her. Can't take them all down. It's not alone. Then we find others, she said. Like Dev, like me. Dev grabbed her arm weakly. There's a list. I saved a few names. Others scattered. Nara took the list and stared at it. Each name had a location, a status, and a code. It were marked offline, but some were still out there. Still alive. I'll bring them back, she said. Leo stepped beside her. We will. She turned to Dev. Rest now. You're safe. He smiled, barely awake. You always cared, even before. She held his hand, and I always will. That night, Nara stood by the ship's window, watching the stars again. But this time, her eyes were sharper, clearer. The girl who was once bought like junk had become something else. A light. A leader. And she wasn't done yet. Nara stood in front of a small table with wires, broken chips, and data pads spread across it. The list Dev gave her showed 9 names. 9 broken cyborgs, like hers, cattered, forgotten, or hunted. She stared at the glowing screen. Unit 097. Last seen on Dakar Moon. Status. Active, but hiding. Leo stepped beside her. We'll start there. She nodded. They deserve to be saved, like Dev, like me.
Hey.
Dev was resting in the medical bay. His systems were weak, but stable now. He'd spoken more before sleeping. Told them that the elites were running secret events. Underground battle arenas where damaged cyborgs were forced to fight for alien entertainment. No mercy, no escape. Nara clenched her jaw. They turned us into tools, then into toys. It ends now. Leo placed a hand on her shoulder. You don't have to do it alone. I know, she said softly. But I have to lead this. They set course for Dakar Moon. As the ship traveled through quiet space lanes, Nara worked non-stop. She rebuilt Dev's voice chip. She trained in the small practice room Leo had installed. And she recorded a message one to send out later. When the time was right, she spoke into the recorder, her voice steady. To all who hear this, I am Nara. I was a weapon once. Then I was scrap. Now I choose to stand. To fight not for war, but for freedom. If you were like me, if you were broken and thrown away, know this. You are not forgotten. Leo watched her from the doorway, silent and proud. When they reached Dakar Moon, it was covered in thick fog and old factories. The air was heavy, the sky dim. They landed near a ruined power station. No movement, but Nara felt something. Inside her sensors buzzed. He's here, she said. They moved carefully, weapons ready. The station was quiet, filled with broken machines and leaking pipes. Then a sound metal clanking in the dark. A figure stepped out. He was taller than Nara, with a heavy frame and red eyes. One of his arms was missing, replaced with a crude tool. His voice was rough. You should leave. Unit 097. Nara asked. I go by Jocks now, he said. I'm not here to fight, she said. I came to help. He stared at her, eyes narrowing. Why would you help me? Because someone helped me. He looked at Leo, then back at her. With a human? Yes, she said. He saved me. Jocks' voice shook. I killed humans in the war. I was proud of it. Then they left me here to rot. Nara stepped closer. They didn't leave you. They lost you. Like I was lost. But we don't have to stay lost. Jocks looked down. Then he dropped the tool in his hand. I don't want to fight anymore then. Don't, she said. Oink. Us. He nodded. They brought him back to the ship. Jock sat in silence at first, unsure. But Dev came out of the medbay, smiled, and said, Told you she'd come. Nara looked at the two of them, then at the list. Next is Veil Hidden, on a cargo ship drifting near the belt. Leo studied the chart. It'll be dangerous. Pirates roam that area. Then we move carefully, she said. The crew now had a mission. They weren't just running anymore. They were rescuing. Rebuilding, one by one, they tracked the cyborgs. Some had gone into hiding. One had even turned herself off to avoid pain. But Nara reached them. With words, with truth, with kindness, and sometimes with battle, each one joined her cause. And every time her message grew stronger. On one moon, they faced a team of hunters. Sent by the elite council, the battle was quick. Nara led with speed and precision. Her blade flashed, her steps sure. The new cyborgs followed her without fear. Together, they forced the hunters to retreat. After the fight, Leo patched her wounds. You're changing how? Used to move alone, now you lead. Nara nodded, 'cause they need someone to believe in. Leo smiled. And so do you.
Soon they had a crew of 6. Dev, Jock's Vale, 2 others named Nina and Cross, and of course Nara. Each had scars.
Each had pain. But under Nara's guidance, they became more than survivors. They became a force. Then came the message that changed everything. A small trader ship sent a warning. A major auction is happening soon, and they have a new prize, a rare human designed. War Cyborg. Still active. Still powerful. Nara froze. They're trying to sell one of us again. Leo looked at her. What do we do? Nara stood tall. We crashed their auction. The auction was set to take place on a deep space station called Verinox. It wasn't shown on any normal maps. The elites had built it in secret, hidden among debris fields and cloaked signals. Only the rich and powerful were allowed inside. And now, they planned to sell another cyborg. Nara stared at the image on the screen. The cyborg on display had no name. It's just a number. But her eyes were clear, her body still strong. Nara could tell this one had not given up yet. We're going, she said. Leo looked at the data. We'll have security. A lot of it. Then we go prepared, Nara replied. She turned to the others. Dev, Jox, Vale, Nina, and Cross stood behind her. All had been rescued. All trusted her now. This will not be just a rescue. We will show them that we are not for sale. They planned their attack carefully. Leo used his old human codes to sneak the Starwalker near Verinox. They took a smaller shuttle to dock quietly. The crew split into 2 teams. Leo and Vale would disable the station's power grid, while Nara and the others would head to the auction floor. Inside, the station glowed with gold and silver lights. Music played. Alien elites laughed and sipped. Glowing drinks, servants walked silently, heads down. Above it all, a stage had been built with the captured cyborg chained in the center, her arms held by energy cuffs. The auctioneer's voice echoed. A rare find. A fully functional human war unit. Ready to obey once reprogrammed. Cheers rang out. Bids began. Credits flew through the air like confetti. Then a loud voice cut through the noise. Stop. Nara stepped into the light. Gasps filled the room. Some elites backed away. Others shouted, confused. You? The auctioneer sneered. You were sold as junk. Nara stared at him. And now I've come back as truth. The lights above flickered. Leo and Vale had shut down. The outer systems. Panic started to spread. Nara raised her voice. We're not property. We are not toys. We are not broken. We are survivors. We are warriors. And today, we take back our own. The other cyborgs entered behind her, weapons in hand. The elites tried to run. Some drew weapons, but Cross and Jox moved fast. Dev disabled the guards with precise shots. Nina freed the chained cyborg girl. Who are you? The rescued girl asked. Someone who understands, Nina whispered. Meanwhile, Leo and Vale had reached the control room. Leo sent out Nara's message to every part of the station and beyond, across hidden systems, across band channels. Her voice echoed everywhere. To those watching, to those hiding, to those who've been told they are less than real, we are not tools. We are not mistakes. We are people. We feel. We remember. And we fight. Security bots rushed the auction floor, but Nara and her crew were ready. They moved like lightning, coordinated, focused. No one was harmed without cause. They didn't kill. They disabled. They proved strength could be guided by choice, not control. Soon the station alarms rang. Escape pods flew away, full of fleeing elites. The one's grand auction room was left in silence and sparks. Nara helped the rescued girl stand. "You're free now." "I don't know how to be," the girl said softly. "You'll learn," Nara replied. Together. Back on the Starwalker. The crew gathered in the common room. Their mission was a success, but none of them celebrated wildly. They sat together, quiet, thinking. Leo finally spoke. "You know they'll come after us now." Nara nodded. "Then let them." Dev smiled. "We'll be ready." The rescued girl, now wearing clean clothes and given the name Ilya, looked around. "I've never seen cyborgs like this, like a family." Nara smiled gently. "We're not. Just machines, we're more. We always were." "What now?" Jox asked. Nara stood slowly, looking at the stars through the window. "We keep going. We find the others. We help those still trapped. And one day, when the galaxy finally understands what they've done, we'll make sure it never happens again." Leo came to her side. "You've started something bigger than a rescue mission." "I didn't mean to lead," she said, "but you did. Because you were the first to stand when everyone else stayed silent." Nara looked at her hands. Once used for war, then left broken. Now they built, healed, and protected. "This isn't revenge," she said. "It's a beginning." Outside, the stars kept glowing. Inside, hope burned even brighter. Nara stood at the front of the small ship, watching the stars rush by. Behind her, the crew moved quietly. The rescued cyborgs were no longer broken pieces. They were a family, a force, a new hope. The galaxy had heard her message. Signals from the auction raid had spread like wildfire. Whispers turned to talks. Talks turned to action. Other cyborgs, hidden and afraid, reached out. Some escaped their captors. Others joined from secret places, but the elite council was angry. They sent ships, warships, hunters. The galaxy's strongest fleets tried to find Nara and her crew. They wanted to crush the rebellion before it could grow. One evening, the ship's alarm blared. Enemy fleet approaching fast. Leo called from the control room. Nara single quotes his heartbeat steady. "Prepare for battle." The ship shuddered as it entered enemy space. Outside the windows, dozens of warships surrounded them. Weapons charged. The elites wanted to capture them alive, but Nara was ready. She moved with calm speed, coordinating her crew. Dev, Jox, Nina, cross-defend the engines. Vale and Leo, work on shields. I'll lead the attack. The battle began. Outside, laser beams cut through darkness. Explosions lit the void. Inside, the crew fought as one. Nara led a team to strike. The enemy command ship? Her blade flashed, her moves precise. Every strike was a message. They would not be broken again. The enemy fired missiles. But Vale's quick repairs kept the Starwalker alive. Dev's sharp aim disabled incoming fighters. Nina hacked enemy systems, turning their own weapons against them. Cross held the line, protecting the wounded. Leo watched the battle, his hands steady on the controls. Shields holding at 50%. "Keep pushing," Nara said. They broke through the enemy defenses, surprising the elite commanders. The warships scattered. The elites realized this small crew was not just survivors, they were leaders. After the battle, the ship drifted in quiet space. Nara sat with her crew, exhausted but proud. "We made them afraid," she said. "They should be," Dev replied. "This fight is bigger than us now," Leo added. "But so is the hope." Nara looked at each of them. "We saved lives. We gave freedom. But the galaxy needs to change, forever. She remembered the day Leo raised his hand at the auction. The day she was saved. The day everything began. Our mission isn't over, she said softly. We will keep fighting, not with hatred, but with courage. Not with chains, but with choice. The rescued cyborg smiled. Ilya, once a prisoner, now a symbol of strength, stood tall beside Nara. You gave me a life, she said. I want to give it back to others. And we will, Nara promised. Leo joined them. Humans. Don't give up easily, neither should you. They shared a quiet moment, looking at the stars. A galaxy so big, so full of secrets. But now, a new light shone within it. One that said, we are not broken. We are not for sale. You're free. The journey ahead would be hard. Danger would always follow. But together, they would face it. Because this was more than a fight. It was a new beginning.